Birdman and Lil Wayne. Now, Birdman acts like everything's all cool when it's not. And that's almost like offensive to a fan and Wayne. Like, Wayne has a real problem with Birdman. Cortez Bryant laid down why Carter 5 didn't come down. And I'm going to link that interview below just in case you guys need to remember. But anyways, let's get into this. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to run ads in the channel, it's jordantowermedia@gmail.com. We're talking about Birdman today. He's guaranteeing that Carter 5 is going to come out in 2018. How? I mean, come on. Cortez Bryant already said we've tried to submit Carter 5 3 or 4 times. They told us they don't have the money. Cash Money doesn't have the money to give Lil Wayne for the Carter 5. So then they even, being riders that they are, Lil Wayne, he said, okay, we'll make the money with you. We'll make it on the back end. And they still didn't accept the album. Cortez Bryant laid this out clearly a year and a half ago on the Rap Radar podcast. Now, Birdman promoting his documentary. Now, I salute Birdman for his hustle and what he built. But come on, Wayne, I always say, people wonder, why do you pick on this so much? Because I hate it when someone's being taken advantage of, like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne saved that company. I mean, come on, we all lived during the mid-2000s, right? Cash Money was almost done, okay? Everybody left Cash Money. Everybody. The one person left was Lil Wayne. Carter 2, Carter 3 saved that company. Then bringing Drake, Nicki, Tyga, and the whole Young Money generation in, saved that company. He saved that company on his back. And now he's holding up the Carter 5 for years. Lil Wayne's forced to drop mixtapes. Lil Wayne is forced to go to court. Like, this could have been settled. We know this could have been settled. And I just don't get it, man. The thing that's insulting is he's done many interviews and he always claims everything's good, everything's fine, that's my son, we're going to work it out, but it's not being worked out. And it's like, it's almost insulting to the listener, you know? Like, the people that funded Cash Money are the fans. The fans bought the product, okay? You can't disrespect fans like that. Seriously, it's almost insulting listening to that, because we know Lil Wayne's not happy. Lil Wayne makes this very clear every couple months. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy to me. But I hope they do work it out. I really do. Because, you know, for Wayne's sake, you know, because that boy works hard. That boy works real hard. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll recap this Cortez Bryant thing, too. Cortez Bryant went to the Rap Radar podcast yesterday, and he kind of like shed some more light on the whole Cash Money Lil Wayne problem. He actually exposed that Cash Money didn't even have $10 million to give them for an advance a few years ago, and that's where the trouble started. Then Wayne even said, hey, let's get Cash Money back on track. Let's just release the album. We'll break a deal with Google. They broke a deal with Google. Then when the deal was brought to Universal, Universal shut the deal down because they didn't understand streaming.
Oh.
Back 3 years ago, they said, we don't have a system in place to do the whole streaming thing, or maybe they're just not getting enough from the streaming.
They had done a deal with YouTube, right? I'm sure they did a deal with YouTube 3 years ago, so yeah. YouTube is Google.
I don't know. But, you know, they were doing something with this, some streaming thing. I don't know.
Okay.
What, you know, they were going to basically give the album away for free streaming. They were going to get their money up front. I don't know what happened with that.
You know what I don't understand about that whole thing, Jordan? And I have this question when I hear folks like Drake doing deals with Apple. Mm-hmm. The artist is signed to the label, like right. to Universal.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to do the deal with Apple, it should be Universal doing the deal, not Drake directly or not Wayne directly with Google. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. Okay, but go ahead.
Okay, so then he kind of shed light on, well, you know, Slim's the real guy that handles all the business, not Baby. Baby's just the front man because Slim doesn't want to be in the front. I've always said that. Yeah, I mean, I kind of always kind of peeped that from the side, you know, from outside. Yeah. So Slim.
I mean, I dealt with both of them, but Slim was always the businessman.
Yeah, so he would kind of bring the business to the table, then they would all discuss it as a team.
Okay.
Is that
I
what
used
happened?
to talk to both of them separately.
Yeah.
And then both of them together. Like they really did make decisions jointly. But if I had to say that one was more, and again, this is 1998, so I can't speak for, yesterday.
Right.
But it was Ronald. It was Slim.
Yeah.
He was the businessman.
So how do you think Cash Money gets in a place where they don't have enough money to give Wayne $10 million?
That doesn't make sense to me because when you advance money to an artist as a record label, you do sales projections. You project what you think that artist can make, and then you advance them based on a percentage of sales, right? Because that's what they're going to make. They're going to make their royalties. I've always heard that at Universal they base it on, and again, not an artist as poppin' as Wayne, but like on a mid-level artist, they'll base their projection on paying a dollar for a full-length album or a full-length CD. So if they think somebody can sell 1 million records easily, they're going to advance them $1 million.
Right.
That number would go up for an artist of Wayne's stature. And I don't know what their deal is with Universal anymore. I don't know if it's still a distribution deal or if they're so in debt to Universal that it became a label deal. I'm an outsider. I'm not an insider anymore. So
Cortez
I don't know.
Cortez mentioned that Universal's getting screwed too in this whole ordeal.
Yeah, the industry gossip is that they're in debt to Universal for $100 million.
Oh, wow.
That's the gossip. That's the lawyer gossip. That's the industry gossip. That they're so far in debt that they're never going to be able to repay that.
You know what I have to assume at this point? I have to assume that Drake and Nicki are dealing almost directly with Universal at this point because we don't hear a lot of problems from their camps with money.
I think they always did. Yeah, I think they always did deal with Universal.
Yeah. I don't think it's
personally.
It might not be a straight 80-20 deal with Universal on those situations, those two situations.
Yeah, I don't know. Still, I don't know if it's. Yeah, I can't speak on that.
It's an interesting thing that's going on in the industry right now because they were such a tight knit unit.
Yeah, they were family.
Yeah, now to get, family business put out in the public. I mean, it's almost like. I hate to refer to this, but it's almost like the mob. When you start hearing what happened in the mob back in the days, it's interesting because it was something that was just a mystery before, like Cash Money.
Yeah, now it's all speculation because none of us are insiders, so we're all just kind of speculating. And how amazing is it that they're important enough, 18 years later to be speculating? I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Rec, why don't you weigh in on something on this? What do you feel like?
Wake up!
No, I'm here. I'm just letting y'all speak.
Oh no, yeah, I understand. I just want to give you a chance.
Yeah,
Jordan Tower, JT News.
And then I met Cash Money. Before I came along, Cash Money had put out 31 CDs over a 6-year period.
Talk about consistency.
They weren't new. Yeah, they were consistent.
Yeah.
And they were selling between 5,000 and 25,000 copies every time they put a CD out, right?
Wow.
So I went to New Orleans for a conference, and I bought a CD at Peaches, and I think his name was Pimp Daddy. I can't quite remember. I think it was Pimp Daddy, though. Yeah. And when I turned the CD over, I saw the Cash Money logo on the back, and I'm like, well, who are these guys? Right. So I started to ask around. I went into the projects to see if I could find them.
Really?
Bad idea.
Wow.
Bad idea.
Well, you went to Magnolia Projects?
Especially back.
Magnolia and Elio. I was like all over the place trying to find them.
You're crazy, Wendy.
I know. It really wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done. But here's the plus, as a white woman going into the projects, people assumed that I was either a Fed or a social worker, right? But they didn't fuck with me. I was,
right.
And here I am today. But I didn't find them. Surprise.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to locate them.
Wow.
But they knew that somebody was looking for them. They knew some white lady was looking for them.
Yeah.
So there's a street team guy in Houston called Lump. Lump, excuse me. There's two guys in Houston, Hump and Lump, and I always confuse them. One was behind, I'm trying to blank on his name, oh my God. Little Flip. One was behind Little Flip, the other was the street team guy.
Oh, wow.
Right? So, so the street team guy, Lump, was working with Cash Money, was working with Baby and Slim. So he called me and said, hey, you're the deal lady, and these guys are looking to get a record deal. I'm like, oh, who are they? And he said, well, they're Baby and Slim, they're Cash Money. I'm like, Cash Money?